Hello everyone, welcome back. In our last video we crossed an important threshold together. We looked at the three territories you will be moving through as you bring your plan into action. The known unknown, the unknown known and the unknown unknown. And we talked about the explorer's mindset that makes it possible to navigate all three. Before we dive into the first territory in depth, I want to make a small but meaningful amendment to how we framed things last time. I described the three territories as separate areas, distinct zones you would move through one by one. As I thought about it more, that's not quite right. They are more like layers of reality. All three are always present at the same time. Which one dominates your experience depends largely on where you are focused and on the mindset you bring to the moment. That reframe will matter more and more as we go deeper. Keep it in mind. Now let's talk about the known unknown. What the known unknown actually is. The name sounds a little mysterious, doesn't it? The known unknown. It almost sounds like a contradiction. But here's the thing, it isn't mysterious at all. The known unknown is the territory of information that already exists, is openly available, and that you simply haven't examined yet. It's not hidden, it's not classified. It's not locked away behind expensive memberships or exclusive networks. It's just sitting there, waiting for someone who is willing to look. Most people don't look, not because they can't, and not because the information is hard to find. Simply because they have decided to focus on something else. And that something else might be TV soaps, or it might be deeply valuable knowledge in a completely different field. What we feed to our minds is everyone's own choice, and there is no judgment in that. There is a practical truth here. Nobody can learn everything. The known unknown is vast. It is the accumulated knowledge put together by the brightest minds over thousands of years. Part of wisdom and part of what we are doing in your resource plan is choosing which territories you deliberately don't go into, at least not yet. That's not ignorance, that's focus. Make learning and curiosity a habit, always present, never switched off. The question isn't when to learn, but where to direct your attention. Some knowledge you build yourself, deliberately and deeply. Other areas you consciously leave to others, people in your network, collaborators, specialists, because that's a smarter use of your energy. What matters is that these are conscious choices, not accidents. Examples. The forces driving the silver market. Let's examine the power of knowledge, skills and curiosity with the example of the silver market that turned from a niche discussion between nerds into the headlines in recent months. And just to be clear, I am not a financial advisor and I do not recommend any investment decisions. This example is exclusively for educational purposes. Let me now walk you through what the publicly available data was showing. Supply and demand, the structural picture of the silver market. For 5 consecutive years, silver production had been lower than silver demand. Not a little bit lower, significantly lower. The gap between supply and demand had been widening, and every forecast at the time was pointing to that gap continuing into the current year. In any other commodity, you might expect one of two corrections. Either demand falls as prices rise, or production increases to meet the opportunity, or both together. Supply and demand usually find each other. With silver, neither of those corrections was working. Why demand of silver is not price elastic. Silver demand is largely not price elastic in the most critical applications. Silver is essential for solar panels, electric vehicles, advanced weapon systems, modern communication infrastructure, medical devices, and the microchips in almost every technology we use. In nearly all of these applications, silver represents only a tiny fraction of the total cost of the end product. So when silver prices rise, the price impact on the end product is limited. And silver is so unique in its electrical and thermal conductivity that it can't be easily substituted away. The manufacturers need silver, and the price doesn't change how much silver they need. While the supply for silver is also not price elastic. A large portion of the world's silver is not mined primarily as silver. It's mined as a byproduct of copper, of zinc, of lead. The economics of the mines are driven by those metals, not by silver. When silver prices rise, you can't simply tell a copper mine to produce more copper to get more silver. That's not how a mine was built, and that's not how it operates. Now you might wonder, if demand and supply are so price inelastic, why didn't the price explode much earlier? The answer lies in silver's dual role. Silver is not only an industrial metal, it has also a long monetary history. People hold silver coins, cutlery, and silver jewelry. And unlike industrial demand, this monetary silver is price elastic. When prices rise, some holders are inclined to sell. The pool of monetary silver provided a buffer, absorbing the supply gap for years. But buffers are finite. And when that cushion runs out, the underlying structural imbalance asserts itself suddenly and without much warning. The Strategic Metal Declaration. And when there's one more layer, both the United States and China independently have formally declared silver a strategic metal. Which means government-level demand is now entering the picture alongside industrial demand. When I looked at this complete picture, the price surge in silver wasn't a mystery at all. It was almost inevitable. Every piece of information I just described was publicly available. It just required the willingness to look and the patience to follow the threads. But when, from the end of January, silver crashed, gold too, no less violently when we had surged. The fundamentals hadn't changed, and the supply gap was still there, the strategic declaration still in place, industrial demand going nowhere. On that basis, the crash made no sense. Technical analysis, however, had been signaling something. After such a powerful upsurge, a significant correction was not a surprise to anyone reading the charts carefully. The timing and the magnitude, perhaps, but the direction, that was readable. If you limit yourself to understanding and analyzing the fundamental market forces, you get only half the picture. You forget that there are humans involved. How human behavior interacts with those fundamentals. Indeed, fundamentals are one thing, but market price movements often seem chaotic, emotional, disconnected from reality. The keyword for the skill sets to understand that chaotic price fluctuation is technical analysis. The name is a bit misleading. Yes, it works with trading volumes, graphs, patterns, support and resistance levels, price trends, highs and lows, all precisely measurable. But if you reflect deeper, you find all those trends, breaking points and market patterns, those sudden breakouts and breakdowns, they all together are the compounded shadow of a behavior, confidence, exuberance, greed, fear and despair of the market participants. While we are gaining huge profits one day and losing everything and more the next day, the emotions explode. Bad emotions become contagious, affect all but a tiny minority of market participants and ignite even people who do not understand at all what's going on. In the silver market, the technical picture was telling its own story alongside the fundamental picture. The patterns existed in the charts, long consolidation periods, accumulating signals, breakout structures that students of technical analysis would recognize. Violent shakeouts forced the closure of overly leveraged positions at any price, regardless of the underlying value of the asset they hold. Think of it this way. Fundamentals are like gravity. You can throw a ball up, but it will come back, one way or another, one place or another. The underlying forces always assert themselves eventually. The flow of water down a river is also driven by gravity, by fundamentals. But human behavior and effort can shape how that energy plays out. People can build a dam and hold the water back for a long time. They can construct a hydroelectric plant and harness the energy of the flow, turning the same gravitational force into something that serves them. The water will still reach the ocean eventually, but when and how and who benefits along the way, that's what technical analysis helps you to read. In the end, fundamental powers and human nature shape the markets together. Therefore, a skilled investor must have an understanding of both sides. And especially for those who underestimate the power of emotions, there remains one sentence every trader in capital markets has already heard. The market can stay much longer irrational when you can stay solvent. If you look at this silver story, you can see how far the right set of skills and knowledge can bring you. You know the direction and you can avoid the potholes, following the fundamental energy while avoiding accidents and destruction on the way. In our next video, we are going to step into the second territory, the unknown known. This is a subtler, more challenging terrain, because the unknown known isn't about information you haven't examined it. It's about information and wisdom you have already encountered, but that you are not applying or applying the wrong way. And it is important because the resulting patterns and beliefs are the kind of stuff that is truly holding us back. Going after them sounds hard, but the rewards are huge. Digging them out and adapting them to your needs opens doors you didn't even see before. We are sticking with the silver story for that purpose. The goal is showing the way, how somebody can move away from being a victim of market manipulation, away from a belief that the world is unfair and the excuse that he just doesn't have the luck necessary to change his life, giving up on himself and graduate into a very different person. The silver story continues there too, but we are focusing no longer on other people and what they do. We are focusing on our own means to grow with that story and gain. One spoiler, out-of-the-box thinking can do miracles. Before then, download our worksheet for this lesson. Go through it with great care. It will reinforce what you learned here and prepares you for the next lesson. I'll see you in the next lesson. Take good care and take that next step. And if you liked what you have been seeing and hearing here, Don't forget to push the like button and subscribe to this channel.